All right, all right. Good morning, everybody. Let me just tweet this out because I just got out of the shower, so I'm a little behind. Let's see. Let me mute this on my end. So yeah, so this is going to be one to where I really don't care about going head to head against the football stuff. I'm either going to be watched or I won't be watched. I really want to talk about this race quite a lot. I feel like this is going to be at least a 45-minute to an hour stream because there's a lot of different ways to go through. I saw that Matthew kind of already mentioned that it's a bit of a chalk race, and I want to argue that. I really do. But let me go ahead and tweet this out. Shout out to all everybody who did wonderful yesterday. Let me see. I can't speak and type at the same time. All right, sorry, I'm almost done. Besides, this gives people time to join and drop questions. Just start hammering questions in here. We're here to have fun today. Like, who actually cares about football? Like, does that even matter? Does that stuff even matter anymore? Like, for me, it's the island games that I like to watch, and then like I'll start caring in like December. The Cardinals are horrible, so it's like, okay, cool. I can just give up on football again for this year. All right, I got that. Let's see. I get that out. Okay. So when we're talking about this race specifically, there is a lot of ways that we can go. And I want to start addressing some of the chalk plays that we're seeing. So I'm assuming that I need to copy this actually. I need to move this over so I can look at my projections and have a Saber Sim over here. And I just Controlled C a fucking blank template. That's nice. Alright, so sorry. So when we're looking at this race here, we clearly see that Larson, we're probably seeing Byron carry ownership, we're seeing Chase Elliott carry ownership, and we're seeing Suarez carry ownership. I'm assuming that other people are also going to see Ty Gibbs and Chastain as pretty good value. McDowell, possibly Brad. And that's I'm going to argue that that's it in terms of value. Let me go ahead and check that. Now I got this up. Yes, we have Larson, Byron probably projected for the most value. Probably Elliott second. Chastain, Reddick, Bowman, and McDowell probably being the next best plays in that range. We want to play a lot of those guys. I want to really argue Suarez here. So I haven't finished the lines yet, but I am probably going to be underweight on Suarez. Typically, I like to chase the place differential that has the highest likelihood of paying off the price tag, and usually that goes to the cheapest guy. However, when we look specifically at, and that's why I like having this stuff up. Let me make sure you can see all this stuff. Yeah, so like it doesn't matter. You can't see the salary. At least you can, or you can't. Let me switch these. Let me switch. So when we're looking at Suarez here, he has been pretty horrible as of late. Okay, horrible in a sense of not performing to the extent that we had seen him prior, like earlier this year. You know, he was right outside the top 15 to open the year at Vegas, Kansas. Had a poor race at Dover, poor race at Darlington, poor race at Charlotte, poor race at Nashville. We're seeing him like fall right in the mid pack, if anything, second pack, because there's only 36 cars, so 20th isn't even halfway in the field. That's like 18th and 19th. So he's been very much a mid pack car. So when we look at that and then combine that with where he was in practice, okay, so as I have been trying to say more and more, and thank you for those of you who watched the preview video earlier in the week, or at least on Thursday, because I think that had a lot of good stuff in it. And there's still time to view that as well. You can throw that in after this, and then you have more context of why I'm speaking in certain ways or glossing over certain things. But this is actually slow. Like, this is actually pretty bad speed. We combine that with his teammate, Chastain. And we see that Chastain had a rocket ship, okay? Now, it has been a while since we have seen Chastain be this fast. Like, this is true speed. You got to respect that. The fact that Suarez was this slow in his car, okay? I don't even care that he crashed and that he's going to a backup. Like, that is not a concern. The concern is, do we see that they can replicate this speed in their backup? We know that Elliott is going to be able to. We know that Hendrick's going to be able to. So that's not a concern with Chase Elliott. But this speed with Suarez is really slow. We look at where he was just in general with his car off the track, and it was mid-tier. It was mid-pack on a 5-lap, and it was most likely falling down because this is pretty substantial fall-off. Because we're starting with Larson, Byron, all these guys, 29.2s. We're already 4/10 behind here. Like, we are not competing for a top 12 here. We are not competing for possibly even like a top 19. If you've been watching how Suarez runs in these races, we're seeing that, yeah, sure. So 13th best car at Texas. And I probably do need to, I am going to bring up the finishing positions for good old Daniel Suarez to provide more context here. So let's go ahead and look at Suarez and his finishes. And let's find him. So we have an 8th place at Texas. We have 15th at Kansas, 21st at Darlington, 14th at Michigan, 17th at Pocono. So when I'm viewing these here, combine that with how he's running here, I think his ceiling is probably like 17th, 18th today. I have projected him for right at 22, due to the fact that he has no laps in this car, due to the fact that, it's a backup car. He's starting there. Like, the first couple laps are just going to be him understanding what the car can do. I would not be shocked to see Suarez, as we've seen just in general, when guys don't have speed off the trailer. Now, this is just me leaning to, I don't think they're going to be able to give him a car that's identical to Chastain. I think we see Suarez probably finish the first stage and probably 26th or 24th. I don't think he's going to be able to necessarily just follow Elliott through the field, and I don't think Elliott's going to get through the field stupid fast anyway. I got Elliott projected for 12th today. That's right at 5.6 value. Like, at that point, okay, cool. Elliott gets like 16th. That's going to work. Like, that dude, he needs like 47 points. Like, that's not anything crazy. And so for me, due to all this, like, I'll probably do 9 lines or 10 lines today. Probably gonna have Suarez in 3 of them. And he seems like a guy that I don't feel like I need to play. Especially when you're paying up for Byron and Larson and Elliott. Like, you're not landing in the 73 range. Okay, I feel like if you're going to Suarez over Reddick, over a Byron, a Larson, a Ross Chastain, a Ty Gibbs, I feel like you're giving up a lot of potential here for a much safer floor. But I just feel like the ceiling is lower. And so when I'm looking at lineups today and looking at building lineups, Suarez is a guy that I'm not necessarily, going crazy for. Specifically when we look at races like Kansas, races like Darlington. When we start looking at the higher wear racetracks, like actually paying attention to higher wear racetracks, like ceiling performance, 17th from Kansas. Darlington, did he even finish this race at Darlington? He had to. He finished like 17th, right? Finished 21st at Darlington. Charlotte, 23rd. Darlington again, 27th, man. Had a better race at Kansas, won. But I just feel like he's going to be in the 20s today. So that's probably the first place that I'll either be right or be wrong on. That'll pretty much decide at least 66% of my lines is probably being underweight on Suarez. Secondly, we'll talk about Christopher Bell. So seen the situation a lot. We see that he typically falls back from starting on the pole, even with the number 1 pit stall. I think you do have to at least respect how poorly he has ran on the pole at this point, because what did he have? This is his 4th pole this year. I know he started first at Loudon, certainly started first at Darlington, Kansas, and he's just been underperforming at this point, because I played Bell in every one of these situations, and when the ownership gets lower and lower, he's $9,800. Also, going back to the video, very, very fast. Like, a lot of the takeaways from the video was I probably need to start playing more 9K guys that haven't necessarily gone off yet. Chase fell into that. Blaney fell into that. Bell is a guy at his price tag. Like, we don't need 50 points from him. Very similar to Suarez, I'm probably going to want to have Bell in probably 2 or 3 of my lines today. Yet again, probably doing 9. So that's a pretty substantial amount. And him being at $9,800 is the only reason I'm doing this. If he was any more expensive, I don't think it'd be worth taking the risk here, just because he has fallen back in every single race here. The main argument against that is just how fast Larson and Byron is compared to him. So we look at Bell, pretty mid-tier on averages. Pretty mid-tier on the 5 and 10 lap runs. Like, there's a real good chance that he gets passed here by Byron and Larson. But I can't imagine Bell has any significant ownership, to be honest with you. Like, he's probably at like 15%. And if it's any higher, I don't know why it would be higher, because he's burned a lot of people. He shouldn't project that well. And I would play him. If I'm playing Bell, I'm playing him with Larson and Byron. I'm not playing him over one of these two. That'd probably be my stance on Bell today. Let me go ahead and look at you guys' questions, and then I can start going different. Best value play is probably Kyle Larson. Real answer to that. I think it's Chastain. Real answer to that, if you're like looking in the value range. I mean, there's a lot of dead ranges here. Like, the bottom part of this race, like a lot of the 6K range is pretty unplayable. A lot of the 5K range is pretty unplayable. So when we're building, like, we're not playing Eric Almirola starting whatever position this is, 13th. We're not playing, like, yet again, Austin Dillon looks pretty ugly. I mentioned this earlier. I will probably have one Austin Dillon line, especially if I have a really chalky line. Probably with Suarez. If I'm playing Suarez, I'm playing Austin Dillon together. But realistically, Austin Dillon's a bad play. McDowell is really the only 6K guy that I could argue playing. And he is still pretty poor. That's not really good to see compared to where he's starting. This is not really good to see compared to where he's starting. So McDowell is probably playable, but not falling in love. Cindric has been horrific. And this has been pretty bad. And we look at just how slow he is here. Let's practice that. Like, that's concerning. So we're not playing Cindric. We're not playing Haley. Okay? He offers very little upside to where he's starting compared with how slow this car is. So we're not playing Haley. Same thing can probably be stated with AJ Allmendinger. Okay? So when we look at these races here, starting very similar to where he has started in previous races, and a lot of that is replicatable, repeatable. Very similar speed to the qualifying compared to the race speed. Compare that with his practice. Now, this is 15th on average, but I'm assuming he ran lower laps compared to other people. Yeah, so he ran significantly less laps than other guys. So you start running more, probably push them down to probably like 20th, 19th, somewhere around there. Specifically 20th, 22nd. So we're not playing AJ Allmendinger. We're not playing Hocevar. Now, if I miss on Hocevar, whatever. But very similar to where he's starting. Same thing. 29th fastest. Practice laps. I'm assuming he ran a significant amount of laps. It was still just slow. No, he didn't. He didn't run any laps at all. Struggling very much. So we're not playing Hocevar. JJ, Ty Dillon, Corey LaJoy. If you're in the 5K range, you're deciding between those guys. Most likely, most people are going to go LaJoy. I would probably prefer Gillen, But realistically, it's LaJoy, Gillen, in the 5K range that are viable, Harrison Burton as well, and then Brennan Poole. So, like, really from the 6K range to the 5K range, you have McDowell. You have, who I think is probably a really good tournament play in Austin Dillon. You have LaJoy, Gillen, Harrison Burton, and Poole. Like, that's it at the bottom. Like, those are the only guys you should be using at the bottom of your what is it? The bottom of your salary range. So it makes a lot of the 7K range, outside of guys starting up front, unplayable. You're really not even touching the 6K range, to be frank. And a lot of the 5K range values that we typically try and get to are starting in the 20s with very limited upside. Like, even LaJoy is, like, I would prefer Harrison Burton just because he's starting close to last today. Like, this is concerning with LaJoy, man. He's starting very similar to where he finished at Texas, and he was running poorly before he got the damage at Texas. Starting very similar to where he started at Kansas, performed very similar there. Darlington, a track that I would look at for this race, only 2 positions higher from where he's starting here, and then 4 positions higher at Pocono. When we look at his current form everywhere, like, this is very repeatable. Or I'm trying to think of the word. It starts with an R. I don't remember. Anyway, I see very, very little upside from Corey LaJoy today, and I think he's probably going to be very popular due to the fact that where he is on averages. But the guy only ran... How many laps is this? This guy actually ran 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 laps. That is wild. And it showed. Like, he's just slow. Like, I see this, and I'm like, why would I waste lineups on LaJoy? I don't see it. I go to Gill, and LaJoy's 58, so I would be like, well, is Gillen a better play at 54? Very similar to what he's doing in the other front row cars. We look at where he's at, like, that's very depressing. We look at this, that's very depressing. So, yet again, you can kind of see why I glanced over these guys of like, yeah, I have really no interest in LaJoy. I would play Gillen over LaJoy, but then I would just, like, if I'm going to play bad cars, slow cars, let's, like, actually just play Burton, who realistically is starting last. That's what it is, because Elliott's going to pass him. Sora's going to pass him. Poole would be starting last there. But both these guys are going to get passed. Harrison Burton has the highest likelihood of passing B.J. McLeod, Corey LaJoy, Todd Gillen, Ty Dillon, Yaley in terms of DraftKings points in this race. We look at where he's at here. Still slow, super slow. Basically similar speed to Gillen and LaJoy. Like, all these guys are absolutely slow as fuck. The only thing we're getting off of LaJoy is $200 cheaper, and we're getting, 4-place differential, or 4 spots back compared to Gillen. So, okay, let's go back and actually just look at the guy starting last. Like, how worse of a play is Poole compared to these other guys? So we have Brennan Poole as the slowest car. We have him, that is the wrong one. And we have him just being last. So, like, if we're going to play guys that are, like, not going to hit value at all, like, we have LaJoy most likely not getting there. We have Gillen not getting there in speed. We have Burton not getting there in speed alone. Okay, well then what causes these guys to start scoring well? What causes these guys to be actually viable and or optimal? What's most likely crashes taking out guys who are mid-pack or whatever. Okay, so that moves up LaJoy, Gillen, Harrison Burton. It also moves up Brennan Poole, and he's $5,000. So if we're just playing guys who are going to be just absolutely horrible return on investments in a situation where you have to play a value to, especially if you're paying up for Larson, you're paying up for Byron, you're paying up for your guys. Yet again, it's like, well, I'm not going to have the money to get to Suarez, so why would I get there? I don't like the return that LaJoy, Gillen, these guys are going to give me, so I'll just go to Poole. Like, I'll just get the guy with the safest floor. You know what his floor is? He loses 2 positions today. And runs in 36th all day and starts passing people when people start wrecking out. That's going to be a slow burn, but it's most likely he's running 36th. Ty Dillon's running 35th. We have Harrison Burton, Gillen, LaJoy running anywhere from like 32nd to like 28th. You know, at that point, I'll just take the cheapest guy. So yeah, there's that. And so kind of going back to the first comment, I don't really see this race being as chalky, specifically as yesterday. I just don't see that. And you could still get different and not get stupid. Like, for example, I only did 2 lines yesterday, and I played chalk in all of them, and then my 1v1 between the 2 lineups was a Snyder and a Herbst lineup, just because Herbst was showing up good in the Sims and stuff, and I took out Snyder because I had more faith in Pool paying off the price tag and stuff, whereas just Snyder ended up getting there. But after I didn't have Snyder, finished second in the $3, sixth in the $4, and like 20th or 22nd in the $10. So I still missed out on a place differential play, and it didn't kill me because I had the main lap leader. And so when we're looking at Suarez here, like, I would actually, like, 1-to-1, who is competing directly against Suarez today? It's Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs is the pivot off of Suarez. Ty Gibbs has speed that has been shown in all these. If we can type here. Ty Gibbs has had speed in all of these races. Okay, and this is a situation to where don't show me this. We are seeing that he finished 4th at Fort Worth, crashed out at Kansas, 17th at Darlington, 3rd at Michigan, 11th at Pocono. We compare that to where he is running in these races. Certainly not performing that well compared to where he's finishing. Like, he's finishing better than his average running position. But, like, I mean, we're seeing consistent improvement from Gibbs. We know that Gibbs ran a long run, at least if I'm remembering correctly, yeah. So he ran one of the longest stints in practice. We look at this speed here, like, I mean, you have to, like, actually respect this stuff. Specifically, like, when we're comparing, I don't remember who I was talking. Oh, I was talking about Suarez earlier. So, like, this is 22.6. We're only 0.2 off the leader here. Like, this is a consistent fall off compared to what he's doing versus himself and what he's doing compared to the leader. Like, I don't think that we're going to see Gibbs fall out of the top 12 today. We're seeing that Gibbs gets fast laps in these races. Like, people just forget that fast laps even exist, or that you want to, like, chase these guys. But, like, Gibbs has been getting fast laps in these races. I'm using every race here, but, like, it's significant. You have to project him for fast laps. 7 at the Roval, Talladega 5, Texas 2, Bass Pro Shops 40, Southern 500 1, 2, 3, 2, 8, 4, 5, 4, 6, 1, 1, 4. Like, we're probably going to see Gibbs get at least 5 fast laps in this race, if not slightly more due to the pit stall that he has, and to where he's starting. There's a real chance that Gibbs is probably going to win a race as we're getting closer and closer to that actually being happening in the Cup Series. I'm assuming we're probably going to see his win anywhere from his 30th race to probably his 48th race, and so we're entering that range here. Easily started next year. I at least want to start playing more Gibbs as a guy that I think needs to be in your lineups more. What else are we talking about here? 28 of you guys here on a Sunday. Thank you very much for being here. Who do I put with Larson and Byron? Whoever projects well, bro. Hamlin qualifies poor and runs good at this race. What's your take on Hamlin? So, yeah, Hamlin did qualify poorly. We saw that at Texas, although he had the best car at Texas. He had that same speed at Kansas, and he showed that same speed at Darlington. Now, his average is going to be pushed down because he ran a significant amount of laps, easily 18, 19. This is the concerning part, though. Like, as this next-gen car has performed more and more, and even in general, I think it's I honestly think it's the lack of practice. I think we are seeing that is, if you're talking about trends or changes, practice speed has been more and more significant and more important with the lack of practice. Because, yet again, this is 0.5 off these guys. This is, still we are half a second behind in all categories for Hamlin. And whether that's, Xfinity, whether that's Cup Series, whether that's Truck Series, when we typically see this big of a range difference off the trailer, I have to steer to not playing Hamlin, because when you're playing Hamlin, you're giving up one of these guys. You're possibly giving up Chase and Elliott. I'm probably going to have 100% Elliott today. So I'm building with 5 guys. So I'm probably not getting to Hamlin at all. That's where I'm at. We see that Las Vegas spreads out a lot. We see that it's always difficult to pass these races, but Las Vegas is one specifically to where the only way you're going to pass is if you have top 5 speed. And those guys are Larson, Byron, and Reddick that are most likely going to be competing for the win today. I'm not playing. I'm not getting Hamlin today. 3 guys that average 6,700, then going to have 2. I mean, there's going to be a lot of guys. I don't know what we're talking about, Zach. Brother, we're going to have a lot of guys lap down this race, man. There's a real chance at some point in this race, we're going to have 13 guys in the lead lap. I don't know what we're talking about. Truex turns it around today. I don't know. Am I playing him? I mean, you can't even really use this stuff. He's had a terrible run at the start of the playoffs, but very similar to Hamlin. So it's not only Hamlin. We're seeing that Bell is legit slow, in long run. We're seeing that Hamlin is slow. We're seeing that Truex is slow. We're seeing the only JGR car that actually has speed is Ty Gibbs. He's the cheapest of these guys. So if you want to play Truex, if you want to play Hamlin, just play Gibbs, because this is concerning. When we look at this like that, where are we finding the extra 2.5 tenths? Where are we finding this stuff? We're not going to have that. Now, he did run a long run, and when you run that specifically against the people who also ran long runs, well, yeah, sure, we're averaging out, but we'll use Elliott's time as the barrier, because Larson was running 1 less lap than he was, and so we can argue that Larson and Elliott and Byron are running very similar times. So yes, we see all these times even out 15 laps in. Well, when you give up 0.2 a lap on your first 5 laps, well, that's a second there. You give them an additional 2 laps in your 10 laps here. Well, then we're already 2 seconds behind in just general. So it doesn't matter if we even out 15 laps in. That 2-second span just on the track is there, and then you add where these guys are at in starting position on the restart. Well, then, yeah, sure, he's 2 seconds slower than the leader, but due to traffic, he's pushed 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5, 7, 10, 11 seconds behind. So I'm not getting to many JGR guys today outside of Gibbs. Actually, I probably won't play any Joe Gibbs guys outside of Gibbs today. Now, if Larson and Byron blow tires and stuff, well, then it's probably a Joe Gibbs car winning the race, but I'm not gonna do that. So let's discuss the Hocevar in more detail. So we got Hocevar. I got Hocevar finishing 20th today. So where's he running these races? Okay, we're right there, which is respectable. Okay. Let's go ahead and Rockefeller ran this race, so we can't use that. Hocevar wrecks out in this race. So, like I said, I got him projected for, I don't even remember what I just said. Got him for 20th. So, let's see how off that is. 19th at Texas, 21st at Kansas, 15th at Darlington. Okay. At that point, that's all of his races there. We look at where he's at in practice. I don't remember. I'm assuming he ran long run. No, it was short. It's going over so much stuff I do not remember. Pretty slow here. So, looking at the stuff off the trailer, yeah, I think 20th is a respectable projection for him. The guy starts 25th. That's 5 spots higher. Okay, that's right at 27 points, man. He starts getting 28, 29. He's still not hitting value. I'm not playing Hocevar at this, man, because I don't see him jumping that high up. Now, if he does, then, clearly we're just screwed. But at least for me, when I whether that's good or bad, that's how I play. I'm aggressive in that range. So like Hocevar is a great example. If I project him for 20th today, and he's not even close to hitting the value, not that you have to hit a 5x to be in the pool. Like I'll play guys projected for like 4.5, 4.6 and stuff. But like if you're not even close to like getting there at where I think you're gonna finish, like I just don't play him. That's so like Hocevar, I'm not playing today. Thank you, Clutch. Thank you for being here, telling people to do that. Hamlin, Elliott Chastain, Bubba Bowman, Harvick Gillen. I mean, best of luck. I mean, that's certainly a line. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know how to. Especially in races like this where you have so many fast laps and laps not available. I can't give any feedback on like any lineups at all here. Like what's causing you to play Kevin Harvick here? Like that's a big red flag for me here with Harvick. Okay? At least in my head. Let's see what I got him projected for. So I'm giving Harvick 18th today. Okay? Let's see how accurate that should be here. Yeah, I gave him 18th today. I don't know. I don't see anything to really push him past that. So like I wouldn't play Harvick today. But you do you, man. Yes, I like Byron and Bowman today. Just got here. What's up, Kay? Hell yeah, brother. I'm glad you're able to do that. What contest was that? Because I know actually 2 of my guys played the optimal in the $1. I know one of the Patreon guys lost the $10 in a stat correction. He went from first to second with several people doing well there. So which one did you end up winning there, Kay? And my core is on the Patreon. Like that's the core drivers that I use is always on the Patreon. I've mentioned all their names at least 7 times today, or in this live stream there. But if you ever want that stuff, or you ever want my projections, or you just like supporting me and the work that I do, you can always join the Patreon and support me and everything like that. Oh, shout out to all the Twitter guys who like stopped posting the practice data. I tried to warn them. They're going to burn themselves out. I tried to warn them. Nobody's going to pay for it. And what do? They like throw a fit and they don't post anymore. Yeah, I'm doing Winstall tonight. It's our season finale at Homestead. Very, very close battle in the 20s. Trying to think what else. Trying to think what else to talk about. I think I've touched on about everything. Like when we're actually building lineups, that's when things get really, really dicey. You know, like we are very limited in terms of chalkiness. Like if you're building certain ways, but like I said, I don't think you need to get to Suarez. But like you do Larson, Byron, and Elliott, leaves you $6,400 left. You go to pool, like you just play whoever else you want to play there, like, you know, or you lean more Larson and you do Elliott with Larson running away with the race. Well, then you can like truly play whoever you want. Then you can start getting more Alex Bowman. Then you can start getting to more Ty Gibbs. Then you can start getting to McDowell and stuff. So I just I don't think this is as chalky as people are thinking. I really don't. I really, really don't. Oh, nice. Congratulations, Kay. That's awesome, dude. That's on Kyle Busch Day. I haven't mentioned him at all. Typically, if I don't mention somebody, that's why the Herps was more tilting in a content provider standpoint, because I didn't mention Herps yesterday in the video at all. And I rarely ever do that. And then once that was over, I started running sims and stuff, and 2 drivers just kept popping up in like everything. And it was Herbst and Hemrick. And so I went in and I started looking at Herb stuff, and I was like, okay, I can see that. And so I just happened to play a Herbst lineup. It was I missed it. That's when I get more annoyed of when I miss something on my own research, when I'm going through stuff, and then I play him and they do well, I didn't say anything anywhere. Like, he wasn't listed on the Patreon stuff at all. I just ended up with a herps line. Like, oh, I played this guy. He's probably not going to be owned. Hopefully he does something. And he just did. Like, I was pretty... That's when I get more tilted from a content creator standpoint, because I completely missed on that. And I didn't mention herps at all. And anyway, so I haven't mentioned Kyle Busch at all. Typically, if I don't mention them, I have no real interest in them. Quite a long run here, but let's see, what is he doing here? Yeah, like I don't see anything to really go after Kyle Busch. I'm ready for Austin Dillon to be a Cup Series champion, man. People need to show respect to Austin Dillon, man. I would love if he won the Brickyard 400. I think that's what I'm rooting for, man. I want him to win the Brickyard next year. Let's see. But man, I think that's mainly about it. I mean, 41 of you guys here on a football Sunday. Also, is DraftKings gonna pay out this fucking League of Legends stuff already, dude? I'm gonna be really annoyed if this Cup Series contest field before that is paid out. That's gonna make me very angry, because I'm gonna miss out on single entry NFL contest. That's gonna be really annoying. Yeah, man, I think I've basically covered about everything. I think very much trust this stuff. And I'm trusting a lot of what people are bringing off the table, or bringing off the trailer. And I just probably doing just 3 of my 9 lines with Suarez. If we're wrong, we're wrong. And not even wrong there. I can't emphasize this enough, and it's something you should do with every lineup, but I feel like people don't do that. Like, there's been several instances to where I have won contest or scored very well in lineups that I'll use the Kyle Larson Darlington Xfinity Series race from this year. So Larson was super chalk. I think I had him in like 10 of my 12 lineups and stuff, and he wrecks out, blows the motor. Oh yeah, his motor grumbles, and they're like, oh, we're taking it behind the shot, we're taking it behind the wall. Like, it doesn't even blow the fucking motor up. Like, dude, Hendrick's running 7 Xfinity Series races a year, and they don't even bother blowing their shit up. So he takes behind the wall, and one of the 2 lines without Larson does extremely well, because that's built absolutely with Larson in mind. It's not even this is a pivot off of Larson. This is a lineup built if Larson runs into catastrophic issues. So, like, the Suarez contest today, or the Suarez lineups today, will be built with Suarez not even being in fucking play. Like, not even him as a pivot. That is him running into major issues. Vice versa, in the lineups that Suarez is in, he's absolutely in. He's absolutely a must-need play. Not barely hitting value, not like at a 4-3 and he was last one. And I was like, he was the slam dunk play. So, like, whenever you're making pivots and stuff, you should analyze each lineup of what causes this lineup to be optimal. Like, I don't know. Does that make sense? Does not make sense? I don't know. I tend to do very well in lineups to where a vast portion of my portfolio was like incorrect. Like, it was like the wrong take. And then the few lines that go in the other direction carry and make up for all those other lineups. I don't know. I've always been able to do that. I don't know if that's a skill or whatever. But so, like, the Suarez thing today, I feel like more people are going to make a bigger deal out of it than I am. I don't know. That's how I am. That's how I'm viewing it. I think that's about it. Let's see. See LaJoy? Nah. How much red should we have? Probably 20% Reddick. I think that'd be a pretty decent percentage for you to have. Probably 2-3 lines if you're doing 10. Probably 5 if you're doing 20, somewhere around there. I think I am going to call it there. Thank you very much for you guys being here on a football Sunday, and best of luck. And I will see you guys later tonight for our racing stream. And yeah, that's about it. Oh, well, Clutch, before you leave, because I know you're still here, we're done talking NASCAR DFS real fast. This is the standings. Let me get this. Hold on. For Winstill. So this is where we're at. Entering the last race using 2003 points. Currently 21st. Currently at a fucking dogfight here. So I'm racing Phil primarily for a top 20 spot. Might be able to pass Christina tonight if she has a bad race. I got to outrun Bates. I got to outrun Lilac. I don't know if Tom's going to show up, but we got a pretty deep battle here from like 19th to 23rd. Like none of that is set in stone. Any of these guys have, like, I think Colonix is going to miss this race, so we might end up passing Colonix as well. So this is where we're at here. Just trying to, I want to finish top 20. That's the main goal here. A lot of people in this league this year. Anyway, so that's that. I will see you guys later. Best luck today. And yeah, enjoy your football, enjoy your NASCAR, and I'll see you guys then. See you later.